The world never needed the white dragon.
We can't do this without you.
You want to pick your color?
Now it's Radventure time. Let's kick it into action. All right, you rascals, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new trailer for The Legend of the White Dragon. So yeah, this is well, I don't know what this is, to be honest. So I followed this story sort of loosely. I believe they were talking about it maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I had seen a lot of those like YouTube videos of like Jason David Frank as like the Green Ranger or the White Ranger fighting other like characters like Ryu from Street Fighter or, you know, other like things like that where it's like mashups, little crossovers. And so I thought those were pretty cool. You know, you got to see the cool costumes, you got to see some cool fighting action. The only thing I didn't really like about it, like, okay, that's a cool fight, but like, you know, there's no story. Like, why is the Green Ranger fighting Ryu? I don't know. Doesn't matter. That's not important. But it would have been cool to get a little bit of story. And so when I saw that this movie that they were trying to make, Legend of the White Dragon, is going to be like an actual movie with like the same similar type of fight scenes, but with like more of a story, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I like that idea. And around the same time, you know, the Boom Comics were also doing the character Lord Draken, which is a version of Tommy from another universe who stayed evil. Basically, when he became the evil Green Ranger, he stayed evil. And then he also like stole the powers of the White Tiger Zord Ranger and combined them. And like now he's like the Green and White Ranger, sort of like a mashup. Yes, that's right. I am Lord Draken. I'm the best evil ranger that's ever lived. Oh, Lord Draken, you're here. Yeah, so I was just talking about the Legend of the White Dragon. Legend of the White Dragon. The White Dragon pales in comparison to me, the real evil Tommy. Well, I mean, I don't know if Tommy is even evil in this movie. I mean, or I guess it's not even Tommy. They call him Eric Reed, I believe. And it is kind of interesting that like, there's a couple of other Power Rangers actors in this movie. Jason Faunt, who plays Wes in Time Force, is in it for sure. I'm not sure how big of a character he is in the movie, but there's in the trailer, there's this scene where he says,
Eric, let's go!
And it's just kind of like, I don't know if they chose the name Eric on purpose, but the fact that it's the, you know, former Wes character shouting at a character named Eric, like Eric from Time Force, you know, it just kind of like hits those little familiar beats. Like, I think the thing about this movie that's interesting is even though it's not technically, it is its own separate thing. It's like an original character or, you know, legally distinct character, let's say it that way. But it's definitely got like Power Rangers vibes and it's a Power Rangers homage. Like, I don't think they're trying to hide that it's inspired by Power Rangers. They wanted to do a more sort of like adult or more like serious Power Rangers story. Obviously, Hasbro or whoever owned it at the time wasn't going to make that official, so they kind of just had to do their own thing, and which is fine. Like, I like that idea of more original American tokusatsu type stuff. Like, using Super Sentai footage is great, and like mashing it up with American footage, that's an idea that's worked for a long time. I feel like now that's getting a little less, you know, important that you need to use the footage from Japan when, you know, you could film the stuff here. You could make a fully original American show using your own fight footage, and which is kind of like what this is. But then again, is there the market for that? That's the other thing. We don't know. Like, obviously there's a small market, you know, there's definitely people who are still into Power Rangers, but it does seem like it's kind of waning. And the fact that this is going to be a theatrical release, that's also another weird thing. I'm like, oh, I mean, sure, I guess you know, shoot your shot, but like at the end of the day, this feels more like it should be streaming, you know, maybe a digital purchase. I don't know. But like, I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm probably not going to go to the theater to see it, but I'll definitely watch it when it's streaming. Yeah, that's right. If it was a movie with the real Lord Draken, I know people will definitely be going to the movie theaters to see it. To see me in live action on the big screen. Who could pass that up? Okay, Draken, calm down. I mean, you're a pretty cool character, don't get me wrong, but like, even if it was a Lord Draken movie, like an official like Lord Draken movie with Jason David Frank, because this was filmed years ago. That's the other thing too, is like this movie's been in development hell for years. And, you know, usually movies like that, unfortunately, unfortunately, more often than not, the end result is mid, if not terrible, and again, I am interested in seeing this movie. I do want to watch it. Like, if anything, just to see like one of Jason David Frank's last performances. The Power Rangers anniversary special where a lot of the OG actors came back, that was filmed while Jason David Frank was still alive. The actors have their reasons for why they sign up to do a project or not. I don't know what was going on in his life at the time either, so, his choice is his choice. I would have loved to see Tommy come back at least one last time. Like, we've seen him, he's come back so many times throughout the history of the show, so it kind of seemed like a given that he'd be there for the once and always like reunion, especially with his original cast members, like Billy, Zach, and all of them, like Rocky, Kat, they were all like there, and it would have been cool like to see Tommy there as well. And technically his character was there, like he got turned into an action figure. But yeah, I mean, to have like him there one last time, I mean, not that he's done so much for the fans, obviously, like he doesn't owe the fans anything. He's committed so much of his life to the Power Rangers fandom, so he doesn't owe them anything. But again, like it kind of would have been like a perfect send-off for that character. I mean, but if you are interested in like a Tommy like final story, almost like a Logan type story, like Logan was Wolverine's sort of like final story, our Old Man Logan, if you're going by the comic name, there's a Boom comic called Power Rangers Soul of the Dragon, which is basically that. It's like Tommy as an older guy, his son JJ is becoming an SPD Ranger, I think. It's basically his Logan, like his final story. It's a great story, like even though it's not live action Tommy, it's the character Tommy, and they do a pretty good job of like making it fit into the canon. Like you can still see it as a sequel to the comic series, but you could also see it as a sequel to the original series. So like they make sure that it fits either way. And yeah, I think that's a great story. So definitely check that out if you haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, back to Legend of the White Dragon. The White Dragon seems like a inferior version of me, Lord Dragon. I took the power of the Green Dragon Zord Ranger and the White Tiger Zord Ranger and combined them to become the most powerful evil ranger that's ever existed. I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's a flex, but okay. But yeah, so when this was coming out, like I know there's a lot of like behind the scenes drama with this movie, like I said, the development hell, and like I guess the new director like taking over and maybe taking it in a direction that some of the fans weren't really approving of and all that. Like I don't know all that. I don't know all the details. Like I said, I'm still interested in seeing it either way, even if Jason David Frank isn't even in it as much as we would hope, because I understand like the limitations of like the movie had to be finished after he passed, and so that comes with, definitely comes with some difficulties. He can't like ADR his lines, or he can't do any reshoots or anything like that. So they might have to change the story a bit, and that's expected. The White Dragon, that name sort of implies like White Ranger and Green Ranger. I didn't even know that Lord Draken was an official Power Rangers character at first. I just thought, oh yeah, that's a cool idea, combining the White Ranger, the Green Ranger powers, and it looks pretty cool the way they look. Yes, I do look cool, don't I? All right, Draken, calm down. But yeah, no, the Draken design does look cool, and I had seen that sort of like live action trailer that they filmed for the Shattered Grid with Jason David Frank actually playing Lord Draken in live action, and I thought that was really cool too. So like I did get them sort of confused until I learned a little more about him, especially after I started reading the Lord Draken comics, Shattered Grid and all that. Like those comics are great too. Like if you check out Soul of the Dragon, that's one thing, but the whole Shattered Grid story in Boom Comics, that's also an amazing story that I highly recommend. But yeah, that's how like this movie is definitely meant to evoke Power Rangers vibes, especially like when Eric, Jason David Frank's character, they say like, hey, you want to choose your color, and then cuts to the helmet and it like the green light goes on. It's like, oh yeah, Green Ranger. So maybe he used to be the White Dragon Ranger, and then now he's gonna become green. Again, I don't know the whole timeline of the movie. I don't know how it goes. Does he start off green and then become white? I don't know. But either way, like it's definitely evocative of Power Rangers, and him choosing green is like so symbolic too, because like like it's what he was. Like he was originally the Green Ranger, and as much as I love the White Ranger, as much as I love the Draken, he'll always be the Green Ranger. Like that's just Tommy. That's how we all like came to love that character. I think that a lot of how he became such a cool character is just like he came in wrecking the Megazord, wrecking the command center. He looked cool. He had the gold shield, and then he had the redemption arc. Like he became good, and then he was like had that like stint where he was losing his powers. It made it more rare, and a lot of that was just by chance, because in Zyuranger, the Green Ranger, he has to go to after his debut, he has to like go to this like dimension where he can only leave for a short amount of time. So then the Green Ranger was used sparingly in the footage of Zyuranger. I feel like that that sort of rarity just made him even cooler, because you were always like, it was like a treat. You know, he morphs and then maybe he's only on screen for a couple minutes, but those couple of minutes were like everything you were waiting for. So that kind of made him more rare and made him more special as well. So this movie does look like it's going to be pretty cool. I don't think it's going to be like a smash hit. I do want to see it, if nothing else, just to see Jason David Frank in a Ranger suit one last time. Like, even if it's not official, like there's enough in this movie that makes it feel like it's Power Rangers adjacent, you know, like again, you can call it you can call it like a Jason David Frank. But no, there's enough there that give the Power Rangers vibes. All right, anyways, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to see the movie? Is there too much controversy behind the scenes? But either way, if you appreciate the content I make here, you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But until next time, everybody, see ya!